Let me just reduce the sound from YouTube because it's going to come up loud. All right. Michelle, I'm making you co-host, host, reduce just the sound case. From YouTube because it's going to come up loud. Yeah, it's coming up already, so you can hear it. I can hear my echo in my voice. All right. Let's reduce the sound. Okay, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning this morning. Oh boy. So I hope that you guys are having an awesome morning already. Persons have shared their testimonies for the day, and I'm hoping that somebody else will share their testimony with you, our YouTube audience, as we get ready to cook up some stew or whichever one. It's actually called seasoned lima beans. How many of us actually love lima beans? Let me see if I can find some limas in my fridge. I hope I do. I hope I do. Awesome. I found some in my refrigerator. How many of us love lima beans? How many of us actually love lima beans? These are large limas. I'm not going to advertise any particular brand, but you can see them, lima beans. You know what I love most about beans in general? Any bean? Guess what I love most about beans? The fact that they're loaded in fiber. So if you look at the back of the package, it tells you that it has zero saturated fat, zero fat, right? It has 8 grams of dietary fiber in how much? How many servings do we get out of here? 9 servings. So how about half a cup will give you 8 milligrams of fiber. You can't go wrong when it comes to beans, guys, right? So do you want to really maximize your weight loss and really get to lose this weight? Some of us are struggling. We've been struggling for a long time trying to lose the weight, and we don't know what's the problem. Well, let's incorporate some beans. Yesterday, I had a good conversation. My friend Michelle and I had an awesome conversation with my son, NJ. And he said, Mommy, you have to do a talk show about counting calories, Michelle. Yeah. That's what he said before you came on the phone, I think. And I said, count calories? We don't count calories. We don't count calories. We count fiber. He said, well, you don't count calories, Mommy, but people are there, they're counting calories, right? So I said, okay, well, I think it's very fitting that we talk about calories and how many calories we should have per day. But the fact is, and if you're very busy and very active, then we know that average person should consume about what? 1,800 calories a day. Those of us who are really good at the calorie thing. Maybe the most 2,000. But if you're trying to lose weight, then we know that we only want to eat between 1,200 to 1,500 calories. But we don't count calories. What do we count? Anybody can tell me? I know what I count. What do you guys count? Go on, open the microphones. Let's talk.
Some fiber.
Fiber. We count fiber grams. So how many milligrams of fiber do we have to have a week in order to really maximize our challenge, the weight loss challenge or 25. The diabetes challenge? Yeah. If you're a diabetic, that's right, 50 milligrams for diabetics. Amen. Tell me you on the ball this morning.
How many?
50 milligrams of fiber for diabetics.
And 25.
And 25 to 30 if you're just normal. You're just trying to. But how do we get those milligrams of fiber? So what I'm doing here, I'm cutting my celery, even though the recipe didn't really call for celery. I happen to love celery. I really do, because celery helps to get that blood pressure down, and celery gives it a nice crunch. Yeah. So last night while we were sleeping, I had my limas in my crock pot. So let me show you what's going on here. So my crock pot cooked all my lima beans. So often I tell people all the time, listen, here's the truth. If you want to gain 3 tins of limas or 3 tins of beans, all you do is you boil a bag of beans and you get 3 tins. So what would have normally cost me, and there's no price on it, probably like $2, I gained now $4 back. So I can actually can them, Michelle, can't I? And I can sell them and make my money back. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying to you guys, let's beef up on the beans. Last week we did a class on the meatloaf, and some people said, "Oh, it's so much work. It's so intense. It's so this and that." I said, you know what? Let's just stick with beans and greens. You want to really beat this challenge that we have coming up with financial difficulties and whatever the case may be. The fact is, get some beans. Okay. So I'm cutting up my onion, and remember, I don't cut things small. I can't. My hands are tired from all the cooking. So my onions and everything are always going to be bigger than normal, which is really bad. This was my friend Venus's favorite dish. Favorite. So I'm going to turn this on. Awesome. Some cameras are coming back on. I love it. All right. This morning's lesson won't take us more than 20 minutes, hopefully. I think that's enough onions. Do y'all think so? Let's find a baggie in here. I actually organized my cupboard yesterday. Thelma, I organized my cupboard yesterday. I mean, it's so super organized. Now I can't find baggies, but it's super organized. I'll just pop that into the fridge for
Sounds
now.
like you were doing chores like me yesterday.
Oh, yesterday was a hard day for me. When I was finished, I said, Michelle, I'm so tired. I don't know what to do with myself. Okay, so in my frying pan, in my skillet, I'm going to put it where you can see it. In my skillet, good stuff, right? You can see my onions. I have red bell peppers for color. Can't go wrong with that, can you? Right? So I'm gonna let those cook down just a little more than I don't want to add my bell peppers yet because I don't want them to be so wilted that you don't get to actually see them. I want to see them in the dish when it's all done, okay? So let me grab a spoon and here. So in my dish tray here, you know, I'm sprouting. Last week I gave away so much sprouts. Look at my little sprouts. Look at those. I started these yesterday. Yesterday. Look how much they grew yesterday. All right. So I'm going to add just a teaspoon of coconut oil. Just a teaspoon. And you know what? I won't because you know something? I forgot. We're supposed to be doing fat-free for my Filipino family. So I'm going to add some water. All right. So we've adopted the Filipinos. We've adopted the Filipinos, and yeah, me and Michelle and I have adopted them. All right, so let's put them in there. So how many of us love lima beans? Anybody here loves lima beans? Huh?
Oh yes.
I think
Yeah.
is that what I think that's what we call kidney beans here. They look
No,
alike.
No.
Is it different?
Let me show you the kidney beans. Hold on.
Okay.
Let
Please
me
show
show you
me.
the difference. I got a fridge full of beans because I'm storing away for difficult times ahead. So in my refrigerator, I have a bag of almost each bean, right? So we have the kidney beans. You see it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. So we have the
Athena,
kidney.
what do we
Watch this.
call those white ones? We have another name for them. What do you call these beans?
That's the lima. And lima comes in two sizes. They come in small and medium, or small.
We've got another name for those ones.
And we got the black beans. Corey,
Just
get
as we've got black beans, yeah. We have yeah, we call garbanzo beans chickpeas.
Yeah.
What about the big ones? The big white ones, Athena? We don't call them lima beans. We call them something else.
I know we have cannellini beans, but I don't know if
Cannellini.
Just to
say,
yeah, you're right. There is a white kidney beans called cannellini beans. So you are
that's
correct,
the one.
but it's not that.
Yeah.
That is lima beans different.
Yeah. Okay. We've got the kidney one.
Yeah, there's cannellini.
I'll have to check. Yeah. Because it comes in big and small as well.
Yeah.
Oh, really? The cannellini comes two sizes, Michelle?
The white one.
Seen the regular size as similar to the kidney, but that's interesting. And I know there's
the white one we've got in
there's
big
so
and
many
small.
white beans, fava beans.
Let's get some garlic in there.
Another navy.
Yeah, the navy beans. That's right.
Maybe, and Great Northern too is
Navy,
white.
right. Great Northern is white also. Right. That's right. Yeah, that's right. I forgot the northern. Now I don't buy them all because some of them I've never really. I'm going to explore them. I know we used one of them for our which one was it, Michelle, that we used for the baked beans? I think
Navy.
it's
It's
the navy
popular.
beans. Yeah, very popular. Very popular. I need to bring that back. I did the with so much sugar in those things, so much sweet. And I don't like it. But I love it. I love it. Okay, so I have got lots of garlic. Okay, so get that garlic in there quickly. So I usually put these onions and bell peppers and what have you into my pot. Like I said, I usually cook my beans very slow. But if you don't have time, here's a quick way that you can prepare your beans. My mom taught me many years ago, and it really does work. So you want to cook these today, and you don't have a crock pot, or you want to cook them today, and you don't have time to sit waiting for the crock pot to cook them, even if you had one. What do you do? Well, let's get that in there. You take your pot and you put your water in your pot. Sorry. With your beans, this is a quick method. And what you're going to do with that is you're going to bring it to a rapid boil for 3 minutes. Rapid boil for 3 minutes, okay? 3 minutes rapid boil. Then you turn it off. You turn it off, cover it, leave it on the stove for 45 minutes to 1 hour, okay? 45 minutes to an hour, okay? And then what you're going to do is you turn it back on after the hour, tilt your cover like so. Let me show you. My mom would say like so, because you don't want it to boil over. Let's see if I can get that closer so you can see. So you tilt your cover, you see? Because if you put it right over, everybody knows it boils over. So you tilt it. And then let it boil for about 45 minutes to an hour, and your beans should be cooked. Your beans should be cooked. All right. I'm gonna cook all of this because I'll just take it to my shop and sell it if I don't get to eat all of it, because that's a lot of beans. All right, so good. So I'm gonna add my red bell peppers now. I didn't want them to be totally, isn't that beautiful already? Very, very pretty. Very pretty. I had a friend who died from cancer some years ago, and she would call me and say, "Can you make those lima beans for me?" And I say, "Sure." She could get me to do anything. A friend of mine. So I'm gonna just want to take some of the water. I'm looking for my measure. Oh, there it is. Just gonna add a little more water to my pot because I don't want it to burn. Okay. So while that's cooking, for the next minute and a half or so, I am going to take some of the water from my beans along with some cashews. Always we should rinse our cashews. Michelle, why should we rinse those cashews? So I'm going to take a third cup of cashews. Now, this is 4.5 cups of beans. Okay. So that's a lot of beans. That's about 4.5 cups. I'm going to measure it out because I don't want to put more than necessary. Or I could just do all of it. Or I could just keep some and put it in my pumpkin soup this week. That's probably what I will do. I usually add lima beans to my pumpkin soup. So you want to lose the weight, start eating beans. Cut back on your meat intake and you will lose the weight. I promise you. Because meat literally slows down the digestion, right? It slows it down tremendously. So here are my beans. Sorry, let's put that aside so you can see what I'm doing. I want you to see. I'm going to turn my stove off now for just a second. All right. So here are my cashews. So my cashews, I rinsed them already. Michelle, you told me a story about those cashews. Remember some years ago? Oh, she don't want to mention that on here. Okay. All right. So you just make sure you rinse them, okay? Just rinse them. Rinse them. So I'm adding some more garlic powder because it really does help to make things taste better. So I add some garlic. I'm adding some cayenne. Not too much because yesterday I added too much to my food. And I'm going to add a little Italian seasoning. Just a little. Remember, Italian seasoning has no salt. So if you're looking for a low sodium food, this would be the food. And then I'm going to add some of the water from my beans, okay? So I'm just gonna dip it in there and pour it in. So your beans can boil in a rapid amount of time. I mean, like seriously, you can. But then I'm gonna, while I'm blending this, or after I'm finished blending, I am going to add my beans. Let's just blend that quickly. Let's add quickly. Coming right now. Okay, good stuff. So next week, guess what we're having? Next week we're gonna have corned beef. Athena and Yvette, have you all ever had corned beef? Do you know corned beef?
What is
I'm
it?
adding
Yeah, I know what that is.
corned beef.
What
You
is?
know hummus, corned
Oh,
beef.
corned beef. Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So next week we'll do corned
When I
beef
was younger, yes.
out of kidney beans. So get your kidney beans ready so you can do it. So I'm adding 4 cups of beans to my
So you mean vegetarian corned beef?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. I'm interested if that's the case.
Yes. So get your kidney beans ready. I'm going to share the recipe hopefully before the night before.
It's funny because I had my kidney beans out already. I was thinking of just slow cooking them tonight, overnight.
Awesome.
So they'll be ready in the morning.
Yeah. Isn't that beautiful already? Look at that. It's just beautiful. So, and you know, the beans, they have their own fiber. So you don't have to add nothing to thicken it with. And if you want it to be really thicker, then you just simply mash some of them, right? Like refried beans kind of thing. But we haven't added our real thickening agent yet, which is our cashews. The cashews make it nice and creamy. So the rest of this, I'll just keep it for my soup for this week. This week at my little deli, we have pumpkin soup. So I'll just save, it's just about 2 cups of it in there. All right, so good stuff. So then I stir, and it's salt and pepper to taste. I have taken out all of these expensive seasonings that we figured we had to have, like the bouillon and the, chicken style seasonings and stuff. We don't need them. All we need is a little salt and pepper. Bam, that's it. All right. And I mean, honestly, it really does work. Let's see if there are any questions on our YouTube. I forgot that we're even on live YouTube. Let me see if anybody's commenting. Anybody's watching? It's kind of early in the morning, but I just thought I'd take it there first one time. So our beans are basically ready. Now I'm going to add, our onions and bell peppers are ready. This is like the quickest dish you can prepare for your family. So long as your beans are ready, and I'm telling you, no joke, guys, this is awesome. I usually add about 1.5 tablespoons of chicken style seasoning, or maybe a teaspoon or so of soy sauce, but we're trying to get away from using all of those. And so I have just added some salt. I'm going to just add like 1 teaspoon of salt initially, because it's not that much beans. It's not a whole lot. All right. So I want you to see what happens when I pour this in. So let's bring it center. Look at that. Now I'm going to pour in my cream sauce, which I made myself, which is what? Cashews. It's just cashews, a little salt, a little garlic powder. And let me tell you something. I'm telling you, no joke. This was my friend's favorite dish. It was a favorite of my cooking schools when I did cooking classes many years ago. This was one that everybody enjoyed. And you can serve this with grits, rice. You could serve it as a soup with a little cornbread. Why not, right? And I'm telling you, it's really a simple dish. It's tasty. It's healthy. When you would have had some of this in your plate, a half cup of it has 8 grams of fiber. You're not going to want to eat a whole lot when you have this in your plate. All right. So let's beef up on our beans, because beans help to get our fiber intake higher. And I guess it's the easiest way to get our fiber in. I want all of my nuts. All right. Suppose you don't have cashews. Supposing you don't have cashews, but you really want to make this dish, then simply use a little coconut milk. That'll give it a nice rich flavor. Or what you can also use is a little cornstarch. Okay. Just thicken it with cornstarch. And then just add your salt and pepper to taste. All right. Who thinks they're going to try this week? Anybody have their? I know. What's her name? Yeah, just said she was going to try. She had her beans ready. But I don't see her this morning. She must have had a late night while she's tired. But that's our beans. All right. I'm going to turn it down because it's ready. I mean, literally, it takes 5 to 10 minutes, and this is ready. 5 to 10 minutes. All right. So you can have it, like I said, I love it just like that, with cornbread or whatever. And it's very, very tasty. All right. While we talk about, I'm going to just leave it here. And I'm going to pull up the file. Athena says, you're going to try it? Good stuff. Athena says she'll try it. And it's salt and pepper to taste. That's what I love about the new way I'm doing my recipes. Used to be that I would say, oh, you have to have a tablespoon of this and a tablespoon of that. No, it's salt and pepper to your taste because it's your taste. You are the one that need to make sure that it's good for you in terms of your pressure, your whatever you're trying to do. We don't want to eat too much salt in any event because too much salt will do what? It actually elevates our blood pressure. And it leads to retention of fluids and we won't lose the weight like we want to. All right, or need to. So I can push this aside so I can pull up a file, our challenge for the day. Also, did you try any of the recipes already for your church group? Because you always talk about your church group. Athena, always talking about a church group. I love it. I just love it.
Yeah, because, if it's just me, I'm pretty happy to eat quite simply.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm happy to try the recipes with Simon or if whatever church I'm at. Yeah. I've tried it too. But yeah.
You tried a few. All right. Any of them that he liked?
Yeah, he likes the cooking because, like you say, like you're not so strict. You need to adjust to your palate.
Yeah.
So I use it as like a guide. Yeah, and I adjust a little bit. Yeah.
And then you make it your own.
Exactly.
Make it your own. That's what I tell people. Make it your own.
Like the corn fritters. Like did the corn fritters.
Oh, did you make the corn fritters?
Yeah.
You did? Tell me.
The corn fritters.
Yeah. And how was it?
Yeah, it was really tasty. Yeah, they really liked it, and Simon liked it as well. Yeah.
Oh, she made the corn fritters. That's cool. That's nice. All right. Awesome. You made the corn fritters. That's good stuff. I'm trying to pull up a file here. Yeah, I love actually, let me show y'all where the rest of my corn fritter battle went. In the freezer. Because I don't fry. Okay, I don't fry. I hate frying. And it's only me, so it's no, I can't. I just can't. I won't dare sit up here, eat, fry, and all that stuff. Because I actually ate over 2 days what I fried. I didn't get to eat anything else that day, but I was like, I am determined. I gotta finish these. They were so good. They're so good. Thank you for trying them. Awesome. I want to reach to some information here. I want to share this. This is our challenge for the week that I'm going to now. For those of us who are trying to lose the weight, this is our challenge for the week. If I can find it on this presentation. Okay. Okay, it's not on this one. All right, I'm just trying to find our challenge for this week without going into, well, you know what? Let me just go where I know it's at. Let me just go where it's at. Yeah, so last week's challenge, we are building on it. We're building on the challenges for each week, okay? 1, we know we don't eat after a certain time. 2, we're beefing up our fiber. We're cutting back on the meats as much as possible. We're not making you vegetarians unless you want to. Journey with us there, but we do know that if you eat meats, it slows down your metabolism. And our 3rd week challenge, I'm trying to find the file, I'm sorry. Downloads, I'll just go to this one where I know it's at. I just figured I wanted to go to one that Michelle and I had made it a little prettier. It's a little more attractive than my own, which I just didn't have time to put pictures, but that's okay. So as far as possible, let's try to do what we can to make this week's challenge work, okay? We're gonna end in 4 minutes, literally, I promise. We're gonna end in 4 minutes. So let's see if I can share the slides now with you guys for this week's challenge. Any questions on the dish that we shared today?
Marlene, actually, lima beans are like my number one favorite beans. So I buy
Oh my goodness.
50-pound
Really?
bags at a time. I don't know why I love it then.
You buy it in 50-pound bites?
Mhm.
I love it. I love it. 50 pounds? What do you do with them?
I just save them. I have them in like refrigerator.
That's awesome, Michelle. That is simply awesome. Here in Nassau, you can get them in 20-pound bags. You probably can get them in 50-pound bags too. We should actually be buying them in large bags.
Yeah, the prices are gonna go up.
Yeah.
Well,
I love lima beans. I love beans. Number one food for me is beans. I mean, honestly, it's the number one food in the world. Beans. Beans are like superfoods. It's a superfood. Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, because this program will not allow me to go. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm taking you guys all through a whole bunch of slides. Oh, there we go. 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 Okay. So we're talking about sugar. Yeah, so lima beans is your favorite. I love it. I love lima beans. I love all beans.
I love
Lentil,
beans.
my,
Yeah.
lentil is my favorite. Lentil is my favorite. And then after lentil, garbanzos. Chickpeas are like my next favorite. And then I don't care which bean it is. Just give me beans.
I have the beans, Marley. You name
Yeah.
it.
So
I have
I'm
it.
just saying, guys, increase your bean intake. Just next week we'll do the corned beef. That's a big thing here in my country. I'm just trying to help our people to get out of the corned beef. Because the truth is, guess what? Corned beef is not cheap. It's not cheap anymore. It's expensive. Okay. I've been told the price on corned beef went up. So you can get a bag of beans for $2 at the food store. You can serve your whole family. And guess what? They're not going to even feel hungry at the end of the day. We're going to be healthier. When we think of beans, we're thinking lower cholesterol, lower blood pressure, higher fiber. So it's lower diabetes, control of blood sugars. We're thinking weight loss. We're thinking excellent bowel movements. We're thinking all the protein. It's a complete protein. What else are we thinking about when we think of beans? I can't think of anything else to share with you at this moment. But if you go to somethingbettertoday.com, our notes are uploaded in about an hour from now on the lima beans and the power of the lima beans, the benefits of lima beans and any bean. Think about it. You can go and you can just cook any bean and you will be healthier. Okay. So the challenge for this week, I'm sharing it with the public. The challenge for this week, no sugar. No added sugar. Okay. Rwanda beans are a staple. Yes. It's a staple. You hear that? It's a staple. And guess what, Miss Yvette? Guess what?
Yes.
We are now
Yes.
we are being told that the way the world is now headed, beans will be a staple. It's one of the 5 foods that we will have only available
Wow.
as
Mm.
only
Which
5
is
foods, and beans is number 1. Yeah.
At home, it's my father would not eat without beans. Like it was just
That's
a
my
thing.
dad.
It was,
That's my
and
dad.
it's a thing with most people back home. Like we are so used boiling it in big quantities. So I'll boil like different beans, different kind of beans, and then just put them in plastic and throw them in the freezer, and then you just get quantity as you need them. But yeah, it's
That's
just
right.
a norm. And we buy them in big quantities.
And you grow them?
You
grow them, or you just buy them at the market?
Yes, in Rwanda they grow them. Not in Australia, but in Rwanda, yes, they are. Most people would grow them. Yeah, and if you don't, if you live in the city, you'll still buy it in 50 kilo in big quantity, and just yeah.
Wow.
I wanted to ask with what you make. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
What are you eating this bean mixture, corned beef mixture with? Like, are you going to eat it with rice? What are you eating it with?
The corned beef we're going to make next week?
Oh, no, like what you just made.
Rice. People would have this with rice. They have it with grits. This was one of my breakfast foods that I taught my groups to make. They can have it with grits, but this is anytime food. You can have it by itself with cornbread. You can have it with toast. You can have it with waffles. for rice. Collard greens, some collard greens would be nice. I should add some collard greens, just throw in there, or even some spinach. I just throw for a little speck of green. I may do that for my pictures. Yeah.
Steamed cabbage and carrots.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. I probably add some, I always have spinach in my freezer, and I have a lot growing in the backyard. So I may just throw some in there just for the beauty of the colors of the red and the green. It would be great. Yeah. So for me, because I'm not a big rice eater, I will have it just like that probably today as a soup. Because I'm not a big rice eater. But for those who like it, you can have it with rice. You can have it with quinoa. There you go. For the quinoa lovers, just have it with your starch, like you're having a meat. Okay, that's how I would eat it. But I'm telling you, this is like the best I've had in terms of lima beans. I've taken this to 3ABN when I did my program with 3ABN many years ago. And I literally had people lined up to eat this thing. They were like, any more of those beans? They were asking for everything, but they were lining up. They were like, wow, who would think that beans, so simple, can taste so good? So yeah, it's very good. So just try it and see if it works for you. The recipe, like I said, I sent the recipe to our chat already, but the actual recipe along with the notes will be uploaded in just about half an hour after we finish here. I just need the pictures to go with it. I have the notes already uploaded. So I just wanted the picture to go with it. Yeah. Anybody else have a question on the beans? I'm telling you, beans are the way to go. Beans, that's your friend. When it comes to you want to lose 3 to 5 pounds this week, have beans instead of meat. No meat?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Michelle.
Some places you call it butter beans too. Same family.
Butter beans. It's the same family, right?
Yeah. So it can be called butter beans too.
So maybe it's buttered beans that you're thinking, Yvette. Maybe it's the buttered beans.
Yeah, I just posted it in the chat a
Yes,
little bit ago.
it was.
We
It
call
was
them butter
butter beans.
beans.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Buttered beans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buttered beans.
That's what we call it in Jamaica, butter beans.
Yeah, that's what we call it here.
I'm trying to ask Google, how many grams of fiber I'm taking the word of the package, but in lima beans. There we go. But you want to really lose the weight this week, and you really want to, and then you're going to feel so full.
Yeah.
You're going to feel so full and satisfied that you won't be able to overeat. I'm promising you. Just try it. It works. You will feel so satisfied. You're going to feel like, wow, I feel full in a short space of time. Okay. So on Google, it says it has 7 grams of fiber. Are lima beans a good source of fiber? Yes. It's great for soluble fiber, which helps to the body to absorb carbohydrates more slowly and regulates blood sugar levels. It's endless. It's endless, the benefits when it comes to beans. All beans are good. So that's the secret. This is a secret weapon I'm sharing with you today. You want to lose this weight? Get some beans. Now, the added challenge for this week, this is for the world. Share it, please. Share this presentation. No added sugar. Stay away from all added sugar this week. When we think about sugar, I think of our frontal lobe and the fact that the large amounts of sugar in the diet have been demonstrated to impair our frontal lobe. When we think of our frontal lobe, we're thinking of control. Many of us, we're out of control because we're eating too much sugar. We don't have the control. We don't have the control because we're like, wow. When you eat too much sugar, what it does, it destroys your body's your own ability to be in control of your behavior. Yes, sugar, that white, beautiful, tasty poison. Okay, it leads to confusion and memory loss. And I won't talk about the fact that it kills our immune system. Our white blood cells refuse to cooperate when we eat large amounts of sugar. Okay, so just avoid the ice cream this week. Okay, no added sugar. No added. That is the challenge for this week. None whatsoever. And in other words, I'm thinking, I don't have any sugar up here. I don't have no cookies. Right? Yesterday, I really wanted some cookies. Michelle, I wanted some cookies yesterday. When I'm tired, I find that I eat worse. Yeah. And I was extremely exhausted yesterday when I was finished with my live program. So those of us who weren't there, we made deodorant. It's online already. I mean, I was just exhausted. And I just felt like, wow, I could eat everything. And I was like, I had some raisins and nuts. I ate up to till 5 o'clock. And you guys, you know I don't do that. I'm just so exhausted. So it's not good to be too tired, because too tired can lead to overeating also. But when we think of the frontal lobe, think of this. This slide, which I probably got off the internet and they may ban me for it, but that's okay. The frontal lobe is considered the emotional control center and the home of our personality. The frontal lobe controls higher level thinking. Our reasoning is damaged if we have our frontal lobe damaged. Planning, language, long-term memory, impulse control. When I think about long-term memory, I'm going to go on that. I hope I don't forget. Problem solving, emotions, judgment, motor control and function, initiation, social and sexual behavior. Our frontal lobe, when we think of the frontal lobe, so when you are damaging your frontal lobe based on the amount of sugars you're consuming, what are you actually destroying? You're destroying your own ability to be in control. We need to be in control. We can't allow the foods that we're eating to control us. When you think of the white blood cells and how our body's ability to fight, our artillery cannot function. I love it. Would you say, Athena? Go on, open the microphone and tell the people. Cognitive, go on, open the mic. Because I can't see you guys. In order for me to see myself, go ahead.
With the frontal lobe, I always associate it with cognitive and executive function. That's automatically what I think about.
Yep. Cognitive, executive. I love it. My Athena, she's really good on words. But it's the truth. Cognitively, how are we functioning? Our frontal lobe. I tell you, it's very important that we make sure that we are the ones in control. All right. So when we think about white blood cells, it weakens the white blood cells. If you've had 24 teaspoons of sugar, and the average person, I can't remember how much it is, Michelle, is in 30 something, 36 around there, teaspoons of sugar per day. The average person is eating that much sugar every day. You're not destroying any white blood cells. And so your body's ability, bacteria. So your body's ability to fight, it goes to sleep. We're putting it to sleep. And we don't want to be asleep. We have COVID. And we have all these other problems out there that we're fighting, all kinds of new variants coming out. And if we're going to fight and build our immune system, we're going to have to cut out the added sugars. We need to do that today. Sugar has been linked to cancer. Yes. Colon, rectal, breast, ovarian, uterine, prostate, kidney, cancer of the nervous system, all linked to our consumption of sugar. Weight gain, sugar. There is a strong evidence showing that dietary sugar is the cause of, let me move my picture because it's actually, there we go. Did it move me? No, it didn't. I'm taking it over. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, so there's strong evidence showing that excess dietary sugar is the cause of weight gain. Added sugar, we want to get them out of our diet today, okay? Added sugar is a problem. High in empty calories, there's no calories there, all right? It impacts blood sugar and hormone levels, right? Leading to weight gain. Foods high in added sugar tend to be less filling, and we know that. Cookies aren't filling. Cakes are not filling unless you are bought it from something better with all the whole wheat flour, right? My cakes are a little heavier than everybody else's. We need to get rid of the sugar. And I love this quote here. It says, when we think of the fact that it tends to be low in and completely lacking in protein for the most part, a nutrient essential for blood sugar control that promotes feelings of fullness, then we need to make sure that we're getting rid of the sugar. All right. It leads to overeating. It does. It leads to overeating. All right. So let's try and get rid of the sugar. It's linked to obesity and chronic disease. It's just saying the same thing. All right. Cancers are linked to, it's on the rise. We know that already. Hidden sugars, we know. They're not hidden. Are they hidden? I don't see them as being hidden. We all know the sugars are in all these foods. They're not hidden. They are obvious to me anyhow. The malts and the soft drinks and the canned fruit syrup and the cakes and the candies and the pies and the ice cream. There's nothing hidden about those. I don't see them as being hidden. But look how many teaspoons rather, are in a malt. Anybody here love malt tonic or a Vitamalt or whatever? Look how many teaspoons of sugar. 12 ounces has 42 teaspoons of sugar. Listen, that's a lot of sugar. Can you imagine? And there are people who would come to my store. I don't even sell it anymore. I don't sell. I do not sell the malts at my shop anymore. I used to. Can you imagine having one malt and it has 42 teaspoons of sugar? 42 teaspoons. That's a lot of sugar. Okay, soft drinks has 10 to 12 teaspoons of sugar. I need to get my sugar so you guys can actually see sugar. I mean, because sometimes we can't see it. I'm going to do that, you know. Let me see if I can find some sugar in my thing. Now, I always have sugar because I have my desserts I make for my shop. But I want to show you how it looks. Because honestly, I'm going to get my container. Let me see if I can find it right quick. Look at Miss Lazy sitting on her stool, don't want to get up. Let me see if I can find I just organized my cupboard. I should be able to find it easy, right? It's right here. As we close out, I'm going to show you what the sugar looks like. That's a container I got from my mom. Sugar, get rid of it. Come on, people. I'm going to go with the 10 to 12. If I have that much in there, I'm not sure if I have that much, but let's see. The effects of processed foods, high processed foods. So suppose I wanted the juice over the fruit. So the apple is the red line. So that's the apple. Look at how it takes your blood sugar up, comes down, but it's a gradual. But look at the blue line. That blue line is serious. That's the apple juice instead of the apple. It goes up, but comes down so far, your blood sugar is like way down. You're feeling lethargic by the time you're finished with that. All right. So we won't go there today. The sugar, that's your challenge for this week. No sugar, no sugar. Who's in? Who's in? No sugar. No sugar this week. No added sugar. Let me show you how many teaspoons we said we were going to show you. Because I think we don't really realize. Okay. This is brown sugar, of course, because I don't. Look at how many. I want you to see this. Let me get a bowl so you can see it better. Hold on. No added sugar. You really want to lose some weight? I promise you, you will lose the weight if you get rid of the added sugar. You lose it quicker. Teaspoon. Hold on. This is a table. Y'all know me in my little space. All right, let's see. So you're having okay, there it is. So let's look at it. There's one. So this is just with one soft drink. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's just one soft drink. One soft drink. Let's keep going. I want to see the 42. Let's see what the 42 looks like, because that's wild. The thing that one malt tonic, and I wouldn't drink it very often because it gave me indigestion, but imagine one malt. So this is 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, no, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. This must be wrong. 31, 32, 34. I read that wrong. Did I read it wrong? No, I must have read that slide wrong. Did I read it wrong? That's impossible. That's crazy. No, I read that. I have to go back to that slide. I must have read it wrong. Honestly, I'm going back because I must have read that wrong. I have to go back. I'm hoping I read it wrong. No, it said 42 teaspoons. I gotta show you guys. This is crazy. No, I've never done this before, you know. This is my first time ever doing this. It says malt milk, 12 ounces, 42 teaspoons of sugar. I gotta show you guys because I can't believe it, honestly. Anybody here is in shock like me? I'm in shock this morning. I'm in shock. Look at it. I'm in shock. You see what it said? 42. They say pinch it so you can see it better. Pinch it so you can see it better. I mean, can you imagine? Can you see that? 42 teaspoons of sugar. Father, help us this morning. Anyone here can be honest enough to say, I am still drinking malt tonic. Anybody here? Anybody here is drinking malt. I'm not judging you. I just want you to see how much sugar you are taking in. How much sugar do we need a day? Can you remember, Michelle? Not need. We don't need any sugar a day. We don't need zero. Because everything you eat has sugar. But how many teaspoons of sugar would your body like allow you to have without problems?
A teaspoon, 4 milligrams. Or
One.
About 4.
One.
3 to 4.
One. You see that one? I'm taking my camera. One. And one malted. One malt. And we had all of this. And you wonder why you're sick. You wonder why we're sick with cancer. We wonder why we're obese. We wonder why we have diabetes. We wonder why we have high blood pressure. People, get with the program. We wonder why we're sick as a people. Oh, there's so many of us dying from cancer. So many of us dying from obesity. I had a bowl of sugar. I'm in shock this morning. I'm not telling you any lie. I'm in shock. This is dangerous stuff. I only could say, Lord, help us. Lord, help us. Okay? Lord, help us. Help us to be obedient. Help us to be obedient. So that's the challenge for this week. Let me see if those hands of persons who are going to try this week. Let's try. No added sugar. Instead of the fruits, my fruits are green. I was going to go down for my basket, but my basket of green bananas. Instead of the sugars, try having some fruit. And let me tell you something. I didn't even touch the cereals. I didn't even touch the cereals because most cereals are laden in sugar. I can't think of many of them that don't. Loaded in sugar. What's your friend? Beans and greens. You can't go wrong. Beans and greens. You just can't go wrong. I promise you. I guarantee you success on this journey if you just incorporate some of those into your diet. Beans and greens. And lots of fruits, lots of salads. So let's just get rid of the sugars today. I'm in shock this morning, guys. Honestly, I'm in shock. I've never done that experiment before. I never did it before. To see that amount of sugar in a bowl from one container of malt, that's frightening. It's frightening. It's frightening. So I open the floor for questions and comments now, and then we will close out by 7:30. That's my goal. Come on. Anybody? Nobody? Anyone in shock like I am? I'm in shock. I'm in shock. I am totally in shock this morning. BB about to talk. I see that hand moving. I don't know. All right, well, let's pray. Father in heaven, help us to be obedient. Help us to listen and hear and take heed. Help us to realize that we are saving our lives and maybe the lives of our children and our loved ones who are all around us and watching and paying attention to what we're doing. Help us to realize that we must be the sermon. We must be that sermon. We shouldn't have to say anything. People should just look at it and say, wow, you're doing it. You're trying the best you can. Be with Athena and Michelle and Donna and Charlene, Elvis, Jillian, Thelma, Tracy, Patrice, Yvette, Jackie, and Lisa, and all the others who were here this morning. We pray for strength on this journey. We ask that you help us to be strong, and help us to have a victorious day. Help us to be in control of our appetites today. Help us to know that we can't do it on our own. We must call out to you because you're the only one that can help us. Thank you so much for everything you've done for us, dear Lord, and be with our audience, those who may watch from this program today, and help them to be encouraged also, and help us all to take on the challenge, no added sugar this week, and see a decrease in in weight loss just because of the sugar. In Jesus' name, we thank you. Amen. Amen. Listen, we can do this, right?